Now hear this. DGW speaking, and welcome back to Battle Breakdowns. Today we will be breaking down a recent battle over Ariel on the Sigma Draconis Space Engineer server. This battle was notable for OPA forces getting completely swept very early on. However, as things continued, the battle evolved into a protracted three-way fight. Before we begin, I'd like to add a quick channel update. I should be making more videos soon. College has made it hard to focus on the channel, but now the semester's wrapping up, I should have more time. To add to that, I've seen some suggestions and slightly changed the format. Fingers crossed, videos should be easier to make. Tell me in the comments if you like the format and want to see more changes. Please subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it.
Ariel is the most strategically important location in the entire Sol system. Earth, Mars, and the Belt war over this spot consistently.
The moon itself holds no value, but the radar station on its surface does. Whoever controls the radar station has an early warning radar for the nearby Sol Gate. During the time of this engagement, the Kronos Gate, long offline due to its host star's erratic radiation, is set to come online within the next 4 days. All the nations of the solar system are highly interested in laying stake to that system as soon as they can access it, and everyone needs to move ships and supplies through the Sol Gate to be ready. That's why, on the morning of the 7th, 4 hours prior to Ariel, I was personally staging a light cruiser.
While along my way towards Ariel, traveling what would presumably be a clear path, a lone sensor reading came in through LiDAR, identifying a UN shipyard belonging to the faction FCN.
This station was only in its position for a limited time, and was likely going to move soon, but it only had automated defenses. Reinforcements were quickly called for. Soon, the rapidly assembling OPA force disabled the shipyard's automated defenses, though not before an alarm could be sent out. Now, both the OPA and UN were on the clock to assemble a fleet and claim the station. OPA ships, already present at the station, began to scrap anything useful. As this was underway, the OPA vessels present were met by the BTR in Takanashi and BTR in Wanyameng, with further reinforcements underway. Simultaneously, the first UN ships reached the station. In close unison, the FCN battlecruiser Henry Guzan and the VHI cruiser New Orleans moved in, forcing the OPA out to meet them.
Once the UN vanguard had been fought off, OPA forces had a limited set of options available to them.
Belter ships had been spread out and had taken damage. BTRN St. Trina was still on scene at the shipyard, but a second UN thrust, more organized and with more firepower, was preparing to move on the station. With limited time to act, the order was given to scuttle the station, with St. Trina staying behind to complete the task. All other assets were ordered to leave the AO. As UN forces reached the station, the St. Trina had only barely completed its task. Outgunned and alone, the ship attempted to escape, but to no avail. The UN ships locked them in rail range and destroyed the ship. Finally, the UN level class ship FCN Sinus Roris was able to catch up to the retreating BTRN Wanyamang. Unfortunately for them, the Wanyamang had a torp volley more than capable of disabling the oncoming frigate. After the Sinus Roris had closed to a range where they could no longer disengage, the torps were fired and the vessel was atomized. This series of events sets the stage for the later battle at Ariel. UN, looking for revenge on the OPA, was more interested in inflicting casualties than capturing Ariel, while also conveniently having already assembled a strong force to achieve that goal. For now, all the ships and pilots available to the Belt and Earth were assembled and staged with best haste. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern. The OPA is assembled a 6-ship formation and begins to move towards Ariel.
OPA moves in as a group to prevent raiding attacks from Martian ships.
Mars still holds the radar around Ariel from the previous capture. The group is under joint command of Cetus and a trainee commander, Ariel. As the OPA fleet reaches Ariel, several OPA ships, arriving late, have to run the risk of Martian interception and make the trip alone, attracting several close calls.
Yeah, if you make a play towards flying towards us,
There.
it should come off.
He's firing torps at me at 15. I'm gonna let him keep doing that. Sure about it. The truth of the matter is he's not going to overheat me with the amount of torps he's firing my way. But I don't think I'm gonna overheat him with the amount of Zeus
Who
I'm
can
firing
break
him.
off with both help?
Yeah, he's turning the other way.
We've got 6 warships on point, plus you, plus 2 more coming in, I think.
On the other side of the moon, the UNN is adopting a similar strategy.
Waiting for more forces to arrive, they allow the OPA to begin capturing the moon. At approximately 4:30, they begin a slow and stealthy approach. 30 minutes later, the UN fleet lights drives at 90 kilometers and makes for the OPA fleet.
Torp, wingman Ariel.
Gotcha. Opening fire. Cut through their formation if you need to
ECI
do it.
and EFM from the opposite side.
Yeah.
Whoever can take over FC. Smashed it.
Turn burn the other way if you need to.
Axa the Doomwalla. Axa the Boomwalla. Under your pairing, keep with your pairs.
Okay. I'm gonna hit first.
Nine, 200. Trying to.
Like I suggested,
Yeah,
I do not have control. I'm not currently in a seat. You are the only one in this. I'll have to get out and get it. Maybe.
ISA.
Alright, we actually have a pretty good shot of their drives here. Focus fire drives, focus fire drives. Keep it on, Gabet.
Yeah, pick a bad guy and start splatting.
Who's PDCing the lock?
Oh, I guess I am.
Is it
There's a signature that looks like it's burning.
Alright,
towards
keep
me.
flying straight, keep flying straight. We're gonna reorganize. Keep flying straight, follow the bit. Annihilate him.
ECI seems.
Barrett, he is isolated.
I
Keep
know.
focus fire on him. See if you can paint off drives. Gotcha. Roll call. Say your name.
Operated ship is destroyed.
Which ship?
Good shit.
Enemy? I got
The
CM.
one they were all chasing.
Gotcha.
If I can get
Everyone
in
make sure you
range, I
target a
will.
different drive. He's down to 2 minor
The other ships
drives.
are all burning in for us.
There's a second
Yep,
ECI.
turn burn, other
behind
direction.
her.
The opening shots were devastating. The UN fleet had cut off one of the OPA ships meant to rendezvous with the main formation, the cruiser Tarash Walota, and disabled it in moments. The OPA fleet, for their part, had moved to meet the friendly ships before then turning to face the UN formation as one group. Notably, some technicians were left behind to maintain the capture with the aid of a small vessel. Early on, due to a mix of pilot inexperience and communication problems, the OPA fleet stretched out and became unwieldy to control. When the formations met, the UN and OPA fleets wrapped around each other, both attempting to get favorable angles from behind. In this, the UN performed much better at maintaining a cohesive formation. The UN fleet split the OPA ships into 2 groups. The bulk of the UN ships chased the OPA's front elements and were able to systematically destroy them, while one UN ship, Locke, was caught out and disabled by the OPA rear. With their initial work done, the UN fleet then turned to the OPA's rear formation.
Down to 2
The
minor
other ships are all
drives.
burning in for us.
There's a second
Yep,
ECI.
turn burn, other
behind her.
direction. That guy doesn't have drives anymore, we're good. He's out of the fight.
Did you give us a vector?
Hard burn away from them, we'll reform.
I'm dropping to 475.
Yeah, I don't think we can help you, you're too far back.
Acknowledge.
I got torpedoes on Chimera. Yep.
Still hitting 500. Yeah, he's trying to catch up to you, but he's chunking, I think.
Big hits on Chimera. Good.
Torps away on Kusanagi. Torps
Yes,
away on
we're firing
Kusanagi.
torpedoes as well, so just keep releasing it. You're fine.
Oh, rollers are off.
Look at this fireworks.
Ooh,
I took some torpedo.
Friendly?
Oof. Only switched to manual, not to painter.
Oh no, man. No.
UN ships had caught the rearmost of the OPA formation at extreme railgun range. Unable to force UN ships to back away and widen the range, the OPA ship Kusanagi quickly lost its drives and fell behind. It made a reversal, and PDC brawled briefly before breaking apart. Almost simultaneously, the UN ship FCN Chimera mistakenly interrupted its PDCs from firing at oncoming torpedoes, leading to its unfortunate demise. At this stage, there were 3 OPA vessels left, the BTRN Bullhead, SFOY Plain au Chocolat, and BTRN Wanyameng Ferrante. Several more reinforcing ships were on the way, but too far out to make an immediate difference. Adding to the complexity, the Martian vessels and sector had formed into a cohesive unit and began tailing the fight to pick off stragglers, finding success in destroying a level-class frigate moving to reinforce the UN. Continuing to fly away from Ariel, with the technical crew still on site, the fleets remained embroiled in their chase. As time went on, OPA ships were able to spread apart and slowly shift the range of UN ships, thinning their combined PDC screen and allowing them to re-enter maximum railgun range.
Be incredibly careful to manage your distance with the rest of their fleet.
I will.
Bullhead is coasting. Go for Bullhead. I don't know what happened to him. S-Fly is coasting now. They're trying to turn into us. Get ready, get ready.
My favorite part.
About to be in rail range of Argos. Ramping up to full burn. Railguns rotated.
En route. possible speed.
Alright. You can
They still have full drive.
Still rail fire on Lathavian.
Yeah, I'm switching to power again on him. They're letting us eat him. I don't understand what's going on here.
Me neither. I don't get it. But they're still miles off the. I guess they've given up on getting the cat. Here. Sorry, debris coming away from.
Fellas, you're the only one that they're able to target at the moment, so you're isolated.
Yeah, well, that's because y'all are slow.
God damn, Mellows.
So shoot up some drives so we can catch up.
Yeah, shoot the drive for
I
it.
can't. All I have left are 4 torpedo launchers. That's it.
Actually, keep thrust, cut it as soon as we hit 10 flags. Focus on Wingman's drives, get him out of the fight.
Swing around to meet up with you.
Good. Good. Focus on Estancia since you have a better angle on him.
Yep, I'm about to.
Alright, folks who are focusing on Wingman, focus on Argos and 8 drives. They're coming back in, we're about to do broadsides. Try and keep fire on their drives, same as before. Also, be careful about Wingman, he's about to start firing Kess.
Yep, that's why I had to be.
Let me take the Kess, I have carbon silicate.
I still have full drive.
They're chunking. I'm going for
Oh, good.
PVCs with them as well.
Yep. If someone you could drive on the Gavet so I can get away from him, that would be very much appreciated.
Everyone who's firing at Quebec, see if you can paint those drives.
I'm gonna get back into range and call them again. Coming around.
I got Wingman in way range now.
I'm actually possibly gonna need help with Wingman here. He's separated. Can we all just turn around and focus him on power?
I am right now.
Alright.
Oh, Kess inbound.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, do your best to just dodge.
Word.
Lint. Or not Lint. Alpha, I need you. Change vector, burn towards ECI.
But Tonopside?
Yeah, Tonopside. Keep fire on Wingman, but get moving in Tonopside's direction. Get him to back off.
Yep.
With more OPA ships closing in, and the UN forces down to 3 ships, a dogfight ensued. Though, not for long. With their losses mounting and their main objective already completed, the UN decided to withdraw their ships into deep space. This, however, did not mark the end of the fighting. One of the UN ships had not been destroyed by the OPA, but by the Martians. During the OPA UN chase, the FCN ship Lutabian had made an extremely hard G-burn to stop. They were hoping to fix ship systems and return to the fight, but the immense G-forces had inadvertently killed the crew. The Martians, still following the chase, had caught up to the defenseless ship and destroyed it, bringing their kill count to 2. As the remaining UN ships fled, Martian vessels filled the void they had left, with most of the OPA ships still having either spent their torpedo ammunition or having just arrived without any, and the Martians not having brought torpedo volleys themselves. The fight was set to degrade into a railgun dogfight.
If there's anyone left behind, like Kusanage, can you deal with Wingman? Okay, stay outside of 8 clicks and you'll be fine. Everyone else, focus Tonopside, get his drives out.
Did he just cut thrust?
He did. Cut thrust with him, don't let him change vector all of a sudden and burn for you. What his main drives went out, he's got welders. Turn inwards towards Uranus.
Harlequin is moving in. Close fire.
About halfway through the engagement, the ISA Harlequin had the majority of its drives disabled, leaving it unable to control its distance with OPA ships. However, without any torpedoes to take advantage of its weakness, the OPA couldn't quickly destroy it. 1 to 2 OPA ships were continuously tied up trying to keep the cruiser down. While a majority of the OPA ships were facing down the Harlequin, the BTR Dusseting, a reinforcing ship, was briefly left alone in a fight against the remaining Martians. OPA forces were able to turn around and save the ship before it was destroyed, but not before it suffered a near identical fate to the Harlequin and was left drifting with minimal thrust. The struggle continued for some time. Eventually, the Harlequin managed to make an escape into deep space, and the fight was left to revolve around the 2 remaining Martian ships.
Tenopside's moving to deal with me. Yeah, they're... Oh, I see. This is gonna be something.
Mixed ordnance. Little bit of everything. Moving to assist the UCI ship.
I just hit my W key and a piece of my ship exploded.
Oof. Fighting.
You have Tenopside burning back in to help.
I am smoking.
Yeah, you might actually need to belay my last. Tenopside's going in to try and pincer you.
Saying,
Pretty sure that's Harlequin, something you can deal with right now. Actually focus on Tenopside instead of Berlin.
Do you want me to roll back in on Tenopside?
Maybe. He's still got power to him.
I'm gonna attempt a fighting retreat. This ship is basically done for. Sorry, my brothers.
I might need some help. I've got good drive welding, but I don't know if it's good enough. And Tenopside's burning on me. I actually need some help. Can you focus on Tenopside?
Rolling to bring calls to bear. Mistake.
Did the ISA just...
Fall apart. I've been holding PDCs on him for a solid 30 seconds.
ISA just quick shipped? ISA just transited, I think. ISA transited. I'm veering around.
Help me with Carolinian if you can. He's becoming a serious issue.
Coming back down towards you.
They're both on course for the border.
Either of them, really.
Yeah, I'm buttoning.
In range for 10 upside.
I may have to burn to exit sector. My top panel just fell off. Breaks PDC contact. I'm good to stay in the fight, but otherwise I'm not. Still intact. I've been... Oh no, I can see the back. I retract my previous statement.
Ship fuel low.
Carolan is breaking off. Or at least he's not able to maintain As soon as I get to 3 clicks, I'm back in this.
Okay.
Ship fuel low.
Jason behind.
Ship fuel.
Going right up.
Same.
Ship fuel
10 upside,
low.
just went.
Nice, beautiful. Yeah, Tanopside got out. Focus on
I'm
Carolan.
targeting power as well. I'm targeting power on the Corellian, so...
I think you just nailed
Yeah, Corellian depowered. Corellian depowered.
Destroy it. Burn it all to hell.
No, I'm salvaging them.
Seriously? We're about to hit the sector
Yeah.
border.
Yeah,
Something.
I'm actually not gonna bother salvaging that. I can drift off.
The most technicality victory I think we've ever been through. You're not gonna bother salvaging? Okay, I'm gonna PDC it to death then. I have a bit of a vendetta.
With the situation turning against them, the Martian ships began to withdraw. Unfortunately, the ECI Carolian had sustained enough damage from successive PDC passes that they could not maintain speed for an escape. That last ship was destroyed by OPA forces using coordinated PDC fire.
At the end of the fight, all 3 forces had taken losses. During the first fight at the shipyard, the OPA had lost the St. Trina, with the Wanyumain taking serious damage. The UN had lost the FCN Henry Guzan and FCN Zenus Rorus, with the VHI New Orleans taking serious damage. Additionally, the UN had lost a FOB, temporarily hampering their repair capabilities in the area. In the later fight over Ariel, UN outperformed OPA. In the initial pass, the UN destroyed BTRN Araru, Pensatang, Kusanagi, Axadub, and Axadabumwala. Additionally, they disabled the Karashwaloda, which drifted to safety. Their luck only reversed as they became drawn out in a stern chase and as Mars became involved. As time went on, they lost a level class frigate, the FCN Chimera, the FCN Lutavian, and VHA Wingman. This being said, they destroyed far more tech on the OPA ships than they lost in theirs. For their part, the Martians only lost 1 ship, a relatively inexpensive frigate, ECI Carolian, and in return, destroyed 2 UN vessels. Overall, each side achieved one of their goals. The Martians made 2 kills while remaining relatively unengaged. Only in the end did they become bogged down. When they did eventually retreat, they only took minimal losses. The UN got revenge for the earlier fight. Their initial victory was stunning, and without any losses. Their losses were similarly caused by getting drawn out and bogged down. And even then, they only lost less than the OPA. Finally, the OPA achieved its main goal of taking the capture. No one prevented the capture, instead electing to target the OPA's fleet. That being said, the losses were extremely high and theoretically avoidable. With that, our battle comes to an end. Really quick, I'd like to show a picture of what was left of my ship, BTRN Bullhead. It's a small miracle it held up, but I'm proud of her. Otherwise, I'd like to thank all the factions that participated. Their faction tags are shown on screen now, and the people who allowed me to interview them for accounts of the battle. It's great that players in other nations, people who I actively fight, are willing to help get these videos made. I think it speaks well for our community. Speaking of community, if you liked what you saw today, come join us. The game is Space Engineers, and the server is Draconis Expanse. Links will be in the description. Lastly, I'd like to say that non-aerial battles will come to this channel soon enough. The most common place for fights is above aerial, and finding an interesting fight somewhere else to talk about can be difficult. Soon enough, we should see some battles covering other hotspots like Palace or Kronos. I'm also considering creating some non-battle breakdown videos, so keep your eyes peeled. Until next time, this has been DGW speaking. Farewell and fair skies.